The Durban man who handed himself over to police before confessing to masterminding 2 murders has walked free. It's left the victims' families fuming and demanding answers from authorities who released him due to a lack of evidence. ENCA senior reporter Des Ntathia has got this investigation.
He would have walked now back towards his house. He walked back towards his house. I'll tell you when I meet you why I'm so concerned about this here, because I'll need to talk to you. I'll tell you why I'm so concerned about this here. That's his house there. All right. That's his house. So there's the car that I'm actually driving also, a Renault. So there's my cars there, and this is my house right next door to him. So after he came back from the bank, this is his house. His car was parked in the driveway. The gate would have been open. He came out, he reversed out here onto the road, and then from here he drove and he went through here. So this man got shot like here, then he ended up across the road. See there where that hole is there in the wall. He would have crossed that robo, he would have got shot maybe around here. Because he would have got shot around here because from here, his car ended up across the road. So he went over the island and his car ended up inside here. This is where his car ended up. His passenger seat was here. His passenger seat was here, and he was there on that side.
That's the voice of Overport businessman Zain Moideen. He's describing how his neighbor, Shahid Mudel, was murdered on the 14th of April last year. Mudel's wife recalls how a police officer made contact that day.
So he just said, basically, there's been an incident. So I said to him, like, what kind of an incident? And he said, no, there's been a shooting. So I knew he was going to town. So I thought maybe, you know, he got out the car and someone shot. Maybe there was a shooting somewhere else and he just got shot. But I didn't know that he was dead. So...
Stricken with grief, Rhoda couldn't understand why Mudel had been targeted.
And then 1 week later, Zain phoned me and he said to me he's been working on the case, and basically he sent me photos of the vehicle parked outside gym. And I said to him, you know what, this was not meant for my husband. I said, there's no way someone's going to pay to watch my husband and, you know, like want to kill him, because that's not the life that he lived. And then he had no enemies whatsoever. In like the years that I've known him, he's never had an argument with anybody, you know what I mean? So basically that's why it was so hard for us to accept. And I said to Zain, you know what, this wasn't meant for my husband. And he said, you know what, you're right, I think it was meant for me.
Initially, he was apprehensive. He didn't want to believe that Shahid was a case of mistaken identity. And we told him, we said, listen here, let's go back to around the 25th of March when you had this understanding that there was a hit on you. So I said, okay, let's look at Shahid's life, for example. There was no threat on his life. There was a threat on your life. So it's most likely that it was a case of mistaken identity. That's what we were led to believe. Him, on the other hand, he was just not accepting that, you know, that it was a case of mistaken identity. And he pursued trying to find the truth behind it.
On the 30th of April, Moideen was attending a soccer match on Felix Dlamini Road with his children and a companion. This CCTV footage captures the final seconds of his life. Two shooters emerged from a VW Polo parked nearby and opened fire in Moideen's direction. A few seconds later, a third person, believed to be a spotter, joins the pair as they escape. At this point, Zain Moideen is taking his last breaths. Within 6 months, 3 suspects had been arrested and a fourth, the alleged conspirator, had handed himself over to police. These are snippets from his conversation with officers before making a full confession regarding his role in the killings of Moideen and Model.
How did you feel after that? Really?
No.
Someone shot in front of his children.
No, that's,
listen, I'm not interrogating.
that's not a...
Listen, interrogation, you came here, we were trying to
It's
assist you.
not a nice thing. That's the same reason why I came to the office.
No, 100%. We appreciate it.
Because I wouldn't want something to happen in front of my children.
Yeah.
I'm saying even if somebody's coming to pick me up or whatever the case may be,
Yeah.
it's not nice for that to happen in front of your children or your wife.
No. Agree.
Okay.
So that is a wrong thing.
Yeah.
And after that, even when I found out what happened, I said that's not
But you
That
still pay them the money.
okay. If I don't pay them, what's gonna happen? They're gonna hit me.
No, so it's easy. Okay, guys, I'm gonna bring the money now to you. Then you call the police. These are people that shot someone in Brickfield Road.
Yeah, but how? I don't even know who the person is
No.
because I never see them.
Yeah, but you got the guys you were meeting with will obviously give
Yeah.
the police back to the shooters.
Yeah.
You
But
understand?
at that time,
Yeah.
I wasn't thinking about.
Then you don't want to disclose.
There's no
Especially
other person.
when man was paid. Someone also came with the. You mean now you're keeping 200,000 rand in your house?
No, yeah, well, I had money. Yeah.
No, but we know the rest you borrowed. You don't want to say who you
Yeah.
So I didn't
Right.
borrow from.
Listen.
somebody gave you that.
Yeah, yeah.
No one got 200
Yeah,
just
yeah.
like that.
Let me be honest with you. I had the money. There's no other person. It was me.
Yeah,
I paid the money. I had the money.
yeah.
I gave the money.
Where was money kept?
I had the money in my house.
So your wife is aware that you had so much money in the house.
She doesn't know.
How long have you
was-
been married?
11 years.
At that point, the family was elated because we said to ourselves, now we've got the shooter and now we've got the mastermind behind the shooter. So for that, we were very hopeful that, you know what, the law was going to take its course.
What's bugging me about this case is the day that we went, it kept on being remanded, and the day that we went to court, we actually thought we were going to get closure, because the previous judge had said that he wants an indictment. They must either do an indictment or they need to do something with regards to the case. So that morning when I went to court, I actually expected for him to be, like something to happen to him. And because we've been to court a couple of times. And then on the day to be told that the case has been dismissed, and he wasn't even in jail for 6 months. And most of the time when he was in jail, he wasn't even in the main part of jail, you know what I mean? He was in Durban North holding cell for so long. And then, which means he was protected by someone, because a holding cell is not meant to keep someone for that long.
The alleged triggermen, Sponelo Shangase, Talent Mkhize, and Mcabangaleni Mkhize, remained as accused in the cases. The victims' families have instructed attorneys to demand answers from the NPA. A reply was received on the 16th of May this year, essentially cementing the NPA's position not to prosecute due to a lack of evidence. It's believed an altercation between Perumal and Moideen in 2020 sparked the animosity between them. Police sources claim there are also drug links, but the family denies this.
It's no secret my brother did have a past, but like I said, he left the past behind him, and his primary concern and his business was construction. If you want to know anything about the